Welcome to Episode 12, the final of this series of studies of the Divine Program. Today, we are opening our Bibles to examine a momentous and often misunderstood subject, the great day of His wrath. Over and over again, the Scriptures tell us of an impending day of trouble, a day of general settlement of accounts. As Daniel 12:10 assures us, none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. This period is not the end of all existence, but a necessary transition. It marks the dark cloud on the dawning of a new dispensation, a whirlwind of devastation that sweeps away the old social order to make way for Emmanuel's glorious permanent government. Let us look at this with the spirit of a sound mind.
Look closely at the world around us. During the past century, the Lord has lifted a veil of ignorance from humanity. We are surrounded by inventions, comforts, and conveniences that discount the tales of the Arabian Nights. What might be reasonably expected of God's creatures under such immense favor and blessing? We would expect profound reverence, peace, and contentment. We would expect humanity to seek the Creator and endeavor to do His will. Yet, we see the exact opposite. Discontent, irreverence, and intense selfishness are more prevalent today than ever before in human history. The more blessings humanity receives, the more selfish and ungrateful the world becomes. Because the descriptions of this day are so vivid, human tradition has built a terrifying myth. Many have been taught that the earth will be literally burned to a cinder. But we must redefine this fire using scriptural truth. In Zephaniah 3:8, God says, "For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." Notice carefully, it is the fire of God's anger, not literal flames. It is a symbolical fire representing a whirlwind of social, political, and financial devastation. We know the earth itself is not destroyed because the very next verse, Zephaniah 3:9, states, "Then will I turn to the people a pure message, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve Him with one consent." Mankind will remain on earth, fully emancipated from the grievous errors of the past. How did we arrive at this turbulent time? God laid out a clear blueprint for this era more than 2,000 years ago. In Daniel 12:9, the prophet was told, "Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end." The prophecy then maps out an astonishing sequence. First, a sudden explosion of global transportation, running to and fro. Next, the sudden establishment of worldwide education. Knowledge shall be increased, leading to an accumulation of immense wealth and luxury, which breeds a culture of self-reliance and atheism, culminating inevitably in a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation. Let us marvel at the exact fulfillment of Daniel's words. It wasn't until approximately the mid-19th century that the steam engine was in general use. Humanity is now rushing pell-mell across the civilized earth in planes, trains, and automobiles. This is fulfilling the phrase, "running to and fro." The great Christian astronomer Sir Isaac Newton studied Daniel 12 and faithfully predicted that humanity would one day travel at 50 miles an hour. The skeptical philosopher Voltaire mocked Newton as a poor old dotard misled by a foolish book. Yet Voltaire died shortly before the locomotive was invented, and Newton's scriptural faith was brilliantly vindicated, the prophecy being fulfilled beyond what he predicted. Furthermore, a fever of general compulsory education has swept the world, perfectly fulfilling the promise that knowledge shall be increased. As this veil of ignorance lifted, a tragedy occurred. We can understand it through the analogy of Pharaoh. God hardened Pharaoh's heart by answering his pleadings to Moses' God and lifting the plagues. The goodness of God produced the reverse effect. The same dynamic operates today. As scientific knowledge expands, the world has decided an intelligent creator is no longer necessary, claiming that life generated from sea alkalis and that man is his own God. The scriptural diagnosis is found in Psalm 14:1. "The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God." Education without reverence breeds educated selfishness, the ultimate destructive force. This educated selfishness is driving a massive polarization in society. The Scriptures uniquely foretold this era of confederacies. Isaiah 8:12 warns the Lord's people, "Say ye not a confederacy to all them to whom this people shall say a confederacy." We see a distinct dividing line. On one side are the rich trusts, kings, and massive combines in finance and politics. On the other side are the increasingly organized masses and unions. Both parties are aggressive, confident, and governed by pure selfishness. Because neither will yield, organized civilization is destined to work its own destruction at the very height of its apparent prosperity. But there is another profound element to this day of wrath: the accounting of divine justice. Romans 12:19 declares, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord." Why does the present generation face such a severe reckoning? Because instead of reprobating the atrocious injustices of the Dark Ages, when saints were tortured and burned at the stake for conscience's sake, modern institutions have re-endorsed those cruel creeds. Despite having the glorious gospel light today, many shirk their duty to stand for the truth out of fear of losing prestige or their bread and butter. Just as AD 70 brought the utter overthrow of natural Israel for the blood of the prophets, as Jesus warned in Matthew 23:35, Christendom faces a similar historical exaction. It is vital to understand that this destruction is a natural outworking of the violation of divine law, rather than an arbitrary interference by the Almighty. Peaceable means on both sides of the social divide will be expected to conquer, but they will fail. Disappointment and desperation will turn into complete anarchism, every man's hand against his neighbor. This severe cost is an absolutely necessary fire. It burns away the babel and confusion of the present order, furnishing an everlasting lesson to both men and angels about the inherently destructive nature of selfishness and sin. Out of the ashes of this societal fire comes the most beautiful promise. The old social order, the present earth, will pass away with great commotion, but only to make way for a new social arrangement under Emmanuel's government. Mankind will not be destroyed, they will be emancipated. The bewildering jargon of current systems will give way to the pure message of divine truth. Once again, remember Zephaniah 3:9. That they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. The severe cost of this day will be well worth it when the earth is finally filled with the knowledge of God. In view of these monumental events, what is the counsel to those who truly understand? Zephaniah 2:3 provides our marching orders. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be that ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. We must have full confidence that the Creator's methods are best in every way. Do not attempt to combat the world or hinder this impending trouble, for it is a necessary purification. Let patience have her perfect work and wait upon the Lord. Prioritize the heavenly kingdom, making your calling and election sure above every earthly interest. We are stepping into the dawn of a magnificent new era, so let us walk forward with faith, knowing that God's great plan is moving flawlessly toward its glorious conclusion. Thank you for watching. Would you like to know more? Like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share this with your friends. And may God bless you.